Would you love your kid to grow up in Europe or Africa?
Africa. Yeah, 100,000,000%. You can even hear a kid disappears in the morning and comes back when they're hungry for dinner. They disappear.
In the morning?
In the morning.
Hey.
And we don't know where they are.
Hey.
But people are okay with that. But that's the funny thing here. No one even cares if you have a boyfriend. They would still disturb. They say, no, he's over there. I'm here. I can be your husband. Yeah, he can be your husband there.
Ah! They say what?
Like, I can be your husband here. You can have your husband there. The Mzungu hunter.
Like what?
Like he hunts Mzungu. As a full-time job.
Boys!
And I know them, yeah. The same pressure applies here because you can find even a man challenges you. You're getting old. What are you going to do? Even a border can ask you.
Hey!
Yeah!
Even a border?
Yeah! You get shocked. Like, how can my fertility be a national conversation?
Do you watch translated movies?
Benange, you know, they're so noisy.
Eh?
They're so noisy.
How?
I don't even want to impersonate, but you're like, you just shout over the whole movie. And it's shouting. You can't relax. Even a romantic movie, it's like, and then they even talk when there's no talk. I see people more on social media in Africa than in Europe or America. The addiction.
Onoonye ekifo eky'omulembe w'oyinza okuwummulirako ate nga kisangibwa ku lubalama lw'ennyanja. Winslow Luxury Suites. Kino kye kifo ekikkakkamu eri gwe anoonya w'oyinza okubeerako okumala ennaku entonotono oba ekiseera ekigere ng'olinga ali ewuwo. Kino kye kifo kyokka. Tulina amayumba agalina accommodation ey'omulembe nga mulimu ebisenge ebiwerera ddala 2, sitting room, modern kitchen, dining, closet nga z'obulungi, ssaako toilet n'ebinaabiro. Ebisenge byaffe birabika bulungi nnyo omuli ebitanda ebya queen ne king size. Ekiseera kyonna ky'omala ng'oli naffe tufuba okulaba nga tufuna kutaataganyizibwa kwonna anti tulina standby generator, wifi ne DSTV ssaako ne laundry services. Tulina n'emmotoka ez'omulembe okwanguyizaako mu by'entambula era nga tusobola okupikinga okuva wonna w'oli ne ku kisaawe erimu abava ebweru wa Uganda. Winslow Luxury Suite tusangibwa mu Jomai Estate, Garuga, Entebbe. N'olwekyo gwe yandyagadde okumanya ebisingawo n'okubuukinga osobola tukubira ku noti 752 emu noti 8 nyemu oba osindika obubaka obwa WhatsApp ku plus emu 9 noti 83 2 noti 3 6 noti 2.
Okay, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. ALLANCRUZ is my name, and of course, I would love to introduce to you my channel in case it's your first time to watch me here. Please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share. I'm working with Jose Extra on the cameras. We are speaking English today, and my friend, no joking. When we start speaking English, we go slow. But tell us to speak Uganda. Don't forget, we are proudly powered by modern tiles. The best tiles you can be using in case you want good flow, good bathroom. You want your bathroom to look nice. Please don't forget, use the modern tiles. They're the best in this system. So you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So as many Africans are moving out of Africa, yearning for greener pastures in the Europe. And guess what? The ones in the Europe are looking for greener pastures in Africa. Oh, something shocking. You know, I don't feel like using the word white, but I don't know what's the best word I should be using.
Are you asking me, Alan?
Yes.
I would say maybe Caucasian.
Caucasians. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As so many Africans are moving out of Africa, are looking for greener pastures in Europe, so many Caucasians are moving from Europe, America, looking for greener pastures in Africa, which is shocking which is shocking to many Africans because we think Europe has it all. We think when you go to Europe, you have it all. I've had a few friends that have studied in Europe, and I've come back here, and I've always asked them, like, why are you guys coming back? You know, you've studied in Europe, you've studied in England, you've studied in Germany, you're in America, you're in Canada. Why are you coming back? And some of the brothers are like, Alan, you don't know what you're talking about. You really don't know what you're talking about. So I'm like, no, me. I go study in Europe and then come back to Africa. I think I can't. Like spending so many years studying in Europe and then coming back here, it's a little bit, it doesn't really counter. But anyway, I'm having Fire on the show for the second time. She's one of those few Caucasians that have really lived in Europe. They're born in Europe. And for Christ's sake, she's always telling me, Alan, I don't really want to go back to England because I feel like Africa is my home. She has traveled over 15 countries.
Yeah, definitely.
In Africa?
In Africa. I think we counted, but I've forgotten.
Yeah.
But it sounds about right.
Yeah, but I mean, welcome to Africa. Because this is the second time I'm hosting you. You know why I'm hosting you for the second time? It's just because you're just an amazing soul. You love Africa.
Thanks.
You love Africa.
Yeah.
I've seen people like Didier Drogba. I've seen people like Simon Kalu, Obi, so many international African. I follow so many of our African players, and I've always asked myself, these guys have made it in Europe. They can't deny them a chance to be citizens, but why are they still coming back to Africa? I saw Drogba speak. I saw one coach is called Jose Mourinho, and Jose was saying, "I love Africa. When I go there, I'm like a father. I'm like and I'm like, but there is the way some Caucasians talk about Africa, and I'm like, damn, is it us Africans who don't know what we really have? You really? But anyway, Fire on the show. I'll first give a loud of applause to Fire because I mean, Fire loves Africa. Why not? We had to give you a lot of applause.
Thanks
because
for
thank you for loving Africa. Thank you for loving Uganda in particular.
I wish people over there could say that when Africans go there. If Africans go to Europe or America, I wish they could also give them a round of applause and congratulate them for loving their countries.
Like us, Africa?
Like, you see, especially in Uganda, like you receive people of like a different color. You receive us really warmly. But if you go there, okay, I've not had that personal experience, but either the experience is neutral, like you're treated as an equal, or there's negative.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Do you also see you guys how we treat you when you've come here? Do you realize the happiness we show?
Yeah,
we show the Caucasians.
Yeah, happiness. Yeah, like I've become maybe a little bit bitter over the years because when you've been here long enough, you see behind the facade. Yeah, there's innocent people that are super happy just to experience something different, someone different, to see that you can come and love their country. But then obviously there's the stereotype of Mazungu having a lot of money that kind of spoils it because you start feeling like you're being used.
Yeah, because that's the image we have.
Yeah. And it's the image that's perpetuated, and I've been trying to think of why. Because, I mean, we talked a little bit about it yesterday, like why is it that the portrayal of Africa is of poverty, of war, of deprivation, and the image of the West is of glamour, is of, fast cars, nice houses, good lifestyle. And yet the reality is, as you've said, many Africans who have the opportunity to live abroad actually find themselves wanting to come back here. They just use it as a source of an income and build their homes here. So that means that the image we're receiving is false, right? That it's actually just a propaganda. So we have to ask ourselves, why is there a propaganda trying to show the world that Africa is poor and the West is rich? It's the wrong way around. We've seen what's happening in Burkina Faso. We see Africa is rich with resources, with culture, with the warmth and love, like the things that matter in life. Yeah, so I would say it's the other way around. Like I say, we live in a rich country.
I've seen some few street podcasts, street interviews, Vox Pop, of some of the few Africans that really trying so hard, those few Africans that are in Europe or America or South America, wherever they are. I've seen a few interviews on streets where they find Caucasians, and they're like, "Oh, name for me 5 countries in Africa. And someone like, Africa?
Yeah,
Why
it is a
Africa?
country.
You know, someone asking, why is Africa? I know none.
It's crazy. And we talked a little bit about education last time, and I know that's the headline that you put for the YouTube. I tried to reflect on it yesterday. We literally don't learn anything about Africa in geography, in history.
No, okay. You talked about last time. You talked about it last time, and it really shocked me. So many people were shocked.
Yeah,
on TikTok.
I saw the comments.
Because
yeah.
let me tell you something. We've learned about the Canadian prairies.
The Canarian, the what?
Canadian prairies.
Hey.
Have you learned about the Canadian prairies?
Because, like, especially, okay, I can't comment for the rest of Europe, for America, but in Britain, they focus so much on British history. Like, purely British history.
Fire. Do you know how to draw a map of Africa? Can you?
I think I could, roughly.
Did you get a chance at school to learn?
No, me, I've learned just through travel, like exploration.
Oh, really?
But I can't even remember what I knew and didn't know when I left school. But definitely nothing I know about Africa came from school. I literally don't remember it ever being mentioned. Like, I think the only thing I knew is maybe in the 90s there were those campaigns, like especially with the famine in Ethiopia, there were a lot of campaigns showing starvation. I remember seeing those images on TV, but maybe that's the only impression I had. Yeah. Which got me to think a lot of those false images we have of Africa actually come from campaigns to raise money for Africa. Not so. So you have all of these NGOs, okay, I probably shouldn't name all of them, but all these NGOs and charities that try to fundraise for Africa, they have to put a negative image out there to try and pull on people's hearts and consciences and say, you know, people are dying, we need your help. The problem is, like, they're making matters worse because even then people in Africa start believing those images. So I do think words are powerful, images are powerful. So whatever we speak over people becomes a reality. So when you continuously put a narrative out there that Africa is poor, Africa is at war, even people in Africa start believing it themselves, and you get this poverty mindset.
You know, what is confusing me about the education now, because we are talking about the education sector now, right now. Here in Africa, we study about Napoleon. Yeah.
It's weird, right?
Yeah, we study about Napoleon. We study about the kings, the queens.
Of Uganda?
No.
Oh, even of Britain?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
It's so weird.
Yeah. But what shocks me is, have you ever been taught about Nelson Mandela?
But I don't think we ever were. Because I started reading his autobiography, and of course you can hear about him in the news, general conversation, but we never were taught about the apartheid, we were never taught about colonization. I remember being...
Sure.
Yeah, we were... Zero.
Oh, no. I think you are not really getting your point very well. I need to put this microphone closer.
Yeah.
You were never taught about the colonization?
No. And you know what's even mad is, I don't know if you've seen classrooms in Europe, it's not like here. Like here, it might be a classroom of one color. In Europe, it's like totally mixed. Like in the school I went to in primary school, it was like, I can say at least 50% Pakistani. So as kids, you don't even really, they talk of not seeing color truly as children. You don't realize you're from different places, different cultures. But yeah, maybe you hear a different language. So it's actually, what I'm trying to say is it's so important even to the kids in Britain that they learn their own history, because their own parents may have been victims of colonization, may have come to England as a result of it, but even them, they don't know.
So, oh my God.
Yeah.
So, you never told that England colonized Uganda.
No.
England colonized.
No.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
I learned that out here.
So when it comes to history,
Yeah.
what are you guys taught?
We're taught, I don't know how many times we learned about the Tudor period of time. I think I'm going to put myself in trouble. I think it's the 1500s. Yeah, that's like King Henry VIII, all of his wives. We learn about the world wars, yeah, like in Germany. But even then, it wasn't emphasized too much. We learned about the history of the national healthcare system, the Viking period. Yeah, British history.
Why is it that when I travel to Europe sometimes, when you ask people about Uganda, they only know Idi Amin. Everyone
Yeah.
is always telling you Idi
The
Amin.
film. Is it not The Last King of Scotland
Yeah.
that made it famous? Yeah. I think that film made it. Even me, that's I think how I got to know that history. I'd been in Uganda before I saw
How did
that
you access
film.
the movie?
I think I saw it after I'd been time here. And I was even shocked to see the brutal history of the country that I'd already been staying in.
You're shocked?
Yeah. I never knew. But even that film is a complicated narrative because it's told from the perspective of the British doctor, I think, to Idi Amin. Not so. So even that is taught from a foreign perspective.
Okay, tell me the subjects you guys study at school.
To take them up to the age of 16, I think we study, maths, English literature, English language, like one foreign language.
That's like secondary?
Yeah.
Okay.
One foreign language, that's French, German, or Spanish. Some schools, they teach Latin, but not maybe all the way through. What have I missed? History, geography, religious education and philosophy, physical education, drama, music. There's probably a teacher out there hating me for forgetting their subject. But yeah, those are the ones coming to mind.
I'm sorry to say this. When you're starting school, do you study with some black girls, black boys?
Yeah, of course. Classes are totally integrated.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Now, where do you think those boys are coming from? Do the teachers try to really teach you their origin?
Actually, I'll be honest, the secondary school I went to, I only remember there being one girl there from Nigeria, like in the whole school, her and her sister. There was a lot of people of Indian origin, Pakistani origin. But I'm from the north of England, and there's an increasing movement there now. But in the past, there wasn't. So it was more of London, Bristol, the south of England, where there were more African populations. Because there are parts of London where the majority of the classroom would be dark skin. Yeah, majority. Yeah, and the Caucasian would be in the minority. Yeah, but I don't think the curriculum changes because of that. But I think I did see online there are movements, there are people trying to bring Black history into the education system, but I don't think it's really being taken seriously as it's supposed to be. Yeah.
So fire, ebintu ebimu byewuunyisa, ngezaako kugira kubamu abali eyo abatulaba nti what fire is saying is like fe wano gye tusomera ku Napoleon ne tusoma ku baani bo tebalina kye basoma about Africa. They study nothing about Africa.
So in a way, if it's a young person getting stopped...
Do you know John Speak?
Yeah, but not really that much.
How did you know John Speak? What did he do?
Speak Resort. Not so. The same Speak.
John Speak.
Don't ask me. I'm going to show my ignorance.
No, it's not ignorance. Here we studied about John Speak.
Okay.
Who discovered River Nile.
Yeah, okay.
So did you study about John Speak in England?
No. Yeah, I don't...
Oh.
But I only know that name from here. That's why you see me stuttering.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you study about Sir Samuel Baker?
No,
You never?
no.
Oh. Gwe banzijukizeko Jose. Kubanga twasoma ku Portuguese. Vasco da Gama.
Yes, this is what this one did enter the. Now you're reminding me there was some basic teaching of like voyages going out to different. I think the voyages like to the Americas is what they focused on. Yeah.
Now let me show you a list, and you tell me, yeah.
Yeah. And it's weird to me that you two you're learning
Yes.
even a British perspective of Ugandan history. Because to say that Speak discovered the Nile is bizarre. The idea that, again, someone discovered the Fleuve Congo is bizarre because people were living there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let me give you a list and you tell me.
It's just nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it's happening even in Britain when you see the way these old British explorers or European explorers were, like, they made statues of them, they were celebrated. But it's the same in the UK. There are statues of even slave traders that people have now started questioning, and like there's a backlash about that.
You know, some things you're telling me here are shocking me. Because
it's a good conversation.
Yes, because if you tell me you don't know Sir Samuel Baker,
just I know the name, but I don't really know anything about it.
So what, you studied about Vasco da Gama?
I know the name, yeah, because of the voyages that he made. But school was also a long time ago.
But Sir John Speak?
No, I didn't know he's a surgeon. And I think the little knowledge I gain of these things, maybe I read fiction.
Have you ever visited the source of the River Nile?
I used to stay in Ginger.
Did you visit the source of the River Nile?
Yeah, I swam there.
And they have told you who discovered the source of the River Nile?
maybe I never did that tour. I used to go and do training from the source.
Now, when you go to Ginger,
Uganda
is the Pearl of Africa. When you go to Ginger, there's a place called source of the River Nile.
I know.
So when we were studying, our teachers, they used to tell us, they used to teach us that the source of River Nile was discovered by John Speak.
And the bad thing is that your teachers reiterate this nonsense. And then the bad thing is they do it because they're afraid of the consequences if they actually opened a conversation about it. So like, I don't know who we're to blame about all of this, because the education system was brought by the British, the current one, I think, not so. But it was perpetuated by the powers that be here now. So we can also challenge we can also challenge the government, the Minister of Education, to create an Afrocentric approach to education here. Yeah, we can blame it on the past, but actually it's been how many years? Since Uganda was liberated. So there's even 2 generations could have grown up with knowledge of their own country.
Because I wanted to really give you the list. Because, you know, this show is educative.
Yeah, that's why I like these conversations. But it challenges me too, and I feel ashamed also on like TV to show my ignorance. But that's why I'm saying, in a way, all of us are victims of like the system.
Do you know Henry Matton? You've never studied about Henry Matton? Even in the British history, you've never studied about Henry Matton?
What did he do?
Oh, okay. Stanley.
Yeah, I know the name, but I know the name from here, not from learning about it.
Sir Emil Pasha.
He was an explorer.
I
just know the name, but I'm sure there was a point that...
Do you know Frederick Lugard?
No.
Kali. You know.
I failed.
Let me show you.
Education.
John Hannington. You see,
Speak.
this one is John Hannington. This one is Florence Baker. This one is Henry Matton Stanley.
You should tell me what they did, to be honest.
I should tell you, but also years have gone without studying history.
Exactly.
You know now, the time has what?
Gone.
Because
But these are all people you learnt about.
by force.
Yeah.
We had to learn what they did by force.
It's very strange. And you don't learn about your kingdoms of Uganda. You don't learn about Uganda before colonization.
Eh? Say that again.
Do you learn about Uganda before colonization? Like, because even me, I don't really know much about how Uganda was, except that there were kingdoms.
Oh, you're asking me a question now.
Because even the borders of Uganda, like, who drew them? Like, I actually don't have the answer, but I'm just thinking, because what I knew is a lot of those lines were drawn when they divided up Africa at the end of the war, the World War, right? So if there was a German colony like Tanzania, I think it was handed to the British because they lost the war. But what did the map of Africa look like before it was divided up?
Oh my God. I've never got that question. I've never got that question. Jose, how did the map of Africa look like before colonization? How?
Have we? We've never seen that map.
Zino ze bayita batya?
Modern tiles.
Onoonya tiles ez'omutindo nga mpangazi ezitasiiwuuka nga ne dizayini yazo ya njawulo nnyo. Funa Modern Tiles. Modern Tiles.
I've never seen that map. And I want to see that map because even all these border tribes that are actually one tribe, you know, like the border of Congo, Uganda, South Sudan, Uganda, they're one tribe, but they got a knife put through them. But, so were there lines?
Fire. I swear you can send me to Masaka on foot. Do you know where Masaka is? Masaka town?
Yeah.
You can send me there on foot because the questions you're asking me, I should get an history teacher.
And I don't know even if a history teacher will know because it takes someone that's read outside the curriculum. Not so.
Eh?
It needs somebody that's read outside of the curriculum. In any country, we need to do our wider reading.
Because you need to do an interview with Alex Mukulu. Oh. He's a great historian here in Uganda.
Yeah.
Alex Mukulu is a bright man.
I would learn a lot.
Yes, yeah. He's called Alex Mukulu.
Yeah.
Oh, Alex Mukulu knows a lot.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, there is Salosius Matovu-Joy. He used to write novels. So I think he knows about.
Yeah.
You know, you can ask someone about Buganda and someone is a Muganda and we know nothing.
Yeah, it's
But
crazy.
we know a lot about the Canadian prairies.
It's strange. And it's a way that they colonize your mind still today. Like you were decolonized, but you were recolonized mentally. Or continue to be colonized mentally. And even, I feel like that's what a lot of social media does as well. It's a form of colonization. I see people more on social media in Africa than in Europe or America. The addiction to the fantasy, to the fake life, like especially in Nigeria.
You see a lot of people on social media in Africa.
More than outside. This addiction to putting out a false life, a false image. Because I think...
Fair, that's a strange statement. You see a lot of people on social media in Africa than it is in Europe.
Yeah. Like in Europe, maybe it's because we take it for granted. It's not such a big deal. It's just there. But people are too busy. Like they have their jobs, their lives, their kids. They're not maybe dreaming so much of going elsewhere. You understand? And also our emphasis is less on how you look. Like to go out in the street, even in your pajamas to the supermarket, people do it. Going out in sweatpants and like dirty shoes, it's normal. Like no one cares what you think, what you look like. But here people care so much about image and how you present yourself. Because you can even be sleeping on the street, but you wake up early, you clean your clothes in the river, and you present yourself as though you're a businessman. And that's how you get opportunities. So the same is true of social media. People can put out an image of a life that they are not living, but they want to live. And it becomes more real to them than the life they're living.
Fire, the last time we had a show, you told me you don't have kids.
Yeah, I don't.
If God blesses you with 2 or 1 kid, and you get a question,
Yeah.
would you love your kid to grow up in Europe or Africa?
Africa. Yeah, 100 million%. I wouldn't put them through the mental torture I went through. Yeah.
No. My friend last week took his daughter to England, and we had a party before they left. We had a party. We ate pilau. we took soda. We even brought the pastor.
Yeah.
The Reverend.
So they were leaving the country permanently.
We were celebrating because he was taking his kid
to greener pastures.
Now, for you standing here and sitting here, telling me that if you have your kid, you rather raise your kid in Africa here. Fire. Or you want social media views?
You know, firstly, like, a lot of parents want a good education for their child. And by good, I mean good. Like paper, they want paper from like a school or university with a name that's known. Yeah, but that's not, as we've talked about, that's not a good education. We leave more ignorant than if we had actually never gone to school but learned from life. So the truth is inside of us. I think sometimes the best way of learning is to listen to each other and learn from each other. And that's why I love traveling, because I learn the truth. And it debunks all the myths we've been taught at school.
What do you love about Africa that you want your kid to learn? What's that one thing that really pushes you and you're like, you know what, my kid has to be raised here in Africa? What are some of those few things?
I don't think it's so much about learning as living. It's about just being. You know, here, you can just be. You can even sit a day without doing anything, just being. People are good at that. Like, I'm not saying that as in a critical way. People can just be. And for an outsider coming in and seeing that, we wonder, like, how can you just sit there? And you're not reading, you're not writing, you're not working, you're not bored. Yeah, there's a way of just being here. Yeah. My point being that, like, kids need just to be. They just need to play, to discover, to learn. Like, and in Europe, I don't think there's much of being. You know, just be, like, from a young age, you're being asked, drilled constantly, what will you be? What will you become? As if you are not.
But I think it's good. I think it's good because for us, we admire that. That at a young age, at 3 years, 4 years, if your father is a footballer, you start.
Yeah, picking that.
Yes. We're admiring that. And then for you saying this, the way we are raising our kids is cool.
Maybe we need a balance, but what I'm saying is, like, a child already is. They were born of God. They were born everything they need to be. And as a child, for example, me and my sisters and my cousins used to form a band every summer, write songs and sing. And we used to, there must be reams of performances my dad used to film of us every summer. But that was just seen as playing. But I didn't know I would become a singer. Now when school became so serious, it became about what do you want to be, a lawyer, a journalist, a doctor, or what? That wasn't who I was. I was who I was already. And if only they'd let me be that and do that, I'd have got there much earlier. Instead of wasting like 20 years pursuing a career or an avenue that wasn't mine. Yeah.
But they're always telling us that what you're talking about is how kids are grown are raised in Europe, you know, because I had a friend of mine. She was raised in Europe, and she was telling me, you know, here in Uganda, you grow up, you study history. What you don't, you know, you study mathematics, you study chemistry, and later you become an artist. You get?
Yeah.
But it's the same thing you're talking about. And you're like showing us it's the same thing that is happening there.
So we all one. That's the point. We're all the same, isn't it? Like, but I think the problem is like much of the parents here that have the means to put their kids through a good school and education are just copying that Western model of what a good education is. Yeah, we need to start questioning what is the meaning of a good education, a good childhood, a good upbringing. Because I don't think we know what it is.
Say that again.
Like, I don't think anyone's figured out what a good upbringing is yet. But if you ask me, like sometimes, like my boyfriend, he'll tell me about like being in the woods, like looking for like mango, looking for food. Like, that sounds good to me. That sounds good. Like, as a kid, being able to run around and explore and be just like, be free. And like, that sounds good to me.
When did you last climb a tree?
Oh, you're challenging me. It's been a while, but I do that.
Did you ever climb a tree in Europe?
A lot. I was the #1 tree climber. I used to hide in that tree in the garden.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had a garden?
Yeah, we did. Not our first house, our second house. Yeah. So we did, but we don't have fruits hanging from trees. Yeah, maybe if someone decide to grow.
What amazes you when you see African kids?
Freedom. Maybe. Okay, like here, at least, it's getting different in the cities now with roads. But kids are free to play. You can even hear a kid disappears in the morning and comes back when they're hungry for dinner. And no one even knew They are hungry.
The kids do what?
They disappear.
In the morning?
In the morning.
Hey.
And we don't know where they are.
Hey.
But people are okay with that. They just trust, like they're somewhere. They're with an auntie, a neighbor, an uncle.
Jose, did you hear that? Jose. Yeah?
It's madness to me, because in Europe, that could never happen unless you were totally, like, in a situation of neglect. Because I would say it is more dangerous there. Like, just like there's a lot of weird people out there. But then...
So it gives you some sort of happiness.
Yeah.
In Africa, it is very free.
Yeah.
A kid wakes up in the morning.
They do what they want.
Disappears.
And the good thing, they can follow their instinct. Like, they go to that auntie that they love. They go to that neighbor that they love. I see it at my friend's house. She's Congolese. But the neighbor's kid, Ugandan, is always at her home. And, like, you can just know, like, he feels so comfortable with her. And it's okay until it gets dark. The dad comes, tries to pull him. He doesn't want to go. He doesn't even want to go. And the dad is just calm and waits, quietly. Like, it's beautiful.
Fire. I wish you came earlier. I wish you came like at
when I'm
8 years.
Yeah, I know.
You would have enjoyed Africa. You love Africa so much.
I'd have been a different person because...
for us,
yeah.
When we were growing up, now let me tell you. For us, we grew up in Chitintale. There's a place called Chitintale.
Yeah, I know.
Now, you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Take tea.
Yeah.
At around 9.
Yeah.
Then you disappear.
So
then your mother sees you at 6
yeah.
in the evening,
yeah,
with a sugarcane soup on the belly.
Pour down the t-shirt.
No asking,
yeah,
where did you get the sugarcane?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just flow with life.
Yeah.
And when a visitor comes, I say, hey, where is Alan? The mother would say, ha. Over where is Alan?
She remembers.
You can't get him at this time. If you want to get Alan,
yeah,
would you be here by 6?
By 6.
So the visitor, I'm still here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And by 6,
he's hungry.
When you come back at 6,
yeah,
you don't come straight to
yeah,
your house.
Yeah.
You start coming at home, coming from where at the end of the house.
Yeah.
So you first peep, Then you ask your siblings, what has mommy said when I'm away? So mommy will say, oh, they're going to kill you, my friend. She's going to slaughter you alive.
Yeah.
She has been asking for you. You never watched it.
You know.
So do you do that does that happen in Europe?
You're reminding me of me because I was that one kid that could disappear for the whole day on my bike. Like as a teenager, not as a kid. Yeah, from the age of 11 and up. I could be gone the whole day. And to be honest, I wanted someone to notice I was gone. But I could get back and no one noticed.
No.
But I was one of 5 kids too. And my mom and dad both worked. So I think maybe that's why I belong here, because in a way our upbringing was also like, just had some resemblance, like the older sister looking after the younger siblings, the kind of being responsible before your age. Yeah, but I can relate to that, but not as a kid. Yeah, definitely as a kid, you had to be inside at all times or with the parent.
You know, I've always been asking myself, why are so many, you know, when Caucasians come here in Africa, they love kids so much. They love kids so much. And I'm always asking myself, there's something, you know, someone loving your kid than the way you love your kid.
It's a shaming.
You get?
You don't know how many
kids. Someone goes on street and stays there on street, loves the street life, plays around. You know, I've seen so many. I have a friend of mine. He's called Gerard. Gerard lives in Mukono.
Okay.
Now Gerard has how do they call a skateboard playground?
Okay. Oh, nice. Like a skate park.
Yeah, skate park. Thank you. A skate park. So I see so many of the Caucasians coming. Going to Mukono, they play around with Gerard. Gerard has so many kids around, because it's a ghetto.
Yeah, so I've been there for a video shoot years ago. I know what you mean.
You've been there?
Yeah.
It's a ghetto.
Yeah.
So I've always asked Gerard, why is it that this person so much interested in living around this place? Because when I get fire, and take fire to Speak Apartments, or Speak Resort, fire will be like, no. You see so many Christians feel like, no, I don't want it. But when you take them into the ghettos, I see Caucasians
they come alive.
Happy.
Because maybe that's the life we didn't have, that freedom and expression that we didn't have. And then, but we're all different, because again, there's a select few Caucasian people that come here. Those ones that are coming. So you base all of your ideas of Mzungu off of the ones that come. But remember, the ones that come are less than 1% of the entire population of the world, because few people do really come to Africa, like from Europe, America. And those ones that come, either they might come as a volunteer. So those ones definitely, they may love kids. Or they come working for an NGO, so they maybe have conscience. They're trying to improve the world. Or there are those two that come to exploit. As business people, they see a chance and they see it's underutilized.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
If you're in class in Europe, and then the class is full of students, and you bring out a question like, how many of you want to travel to Africa? How, if the class is over 200 students, how many would say?
But that's a really tricky question, because it was one that we were never faced with. I got that chance when I was 16. Someone came to school to talk to us about volunteering, either in Asia or Africa. And they were continents, generalized. They were not even specific about countries.
How many students were interested?
No,
a big number?
Oh, in the program we were 2, I think, that showed interest, and I think I was the only one that went.
2? We
were 2 out of because it was probably only the upper 2 classes that were, so maybe 200 to 300 people that saw the let's say 200 people saw the presentation. We were 2 showed interest, and I was 1 that went. Yeah. Because but also you've got to remember, it's not necessarily because they didn't want to come to Africa, but there's that pressure on us to go straight to university or go straight into a job. that idea of taking a year out of the system to do something you don't understand, it's even hard to convince parents. Yeah.
Okay. Short commercial break, and when we come back, the show still continues. Don't forget, Fire. She's a very good artist. She does her music, and she's always telling me, I wish I did this before, because I think you were doing other things.
Wano ku Hasi Beauty Parlor tuli bakafulumu kulabirira n'okuyooyoota ensusu. Tukola facial ne tukupepeta ka feesi ne kawawera ng'aka baby. Tusiba n'okukola enviiri mu buli musono, songa mu kukola pedicure ne manicure tuwekansa. Tusala enviiri mu buli musono, ate bwe kituuka mu kukola makeup tetumanyiiyo mulala. Tuli muyenga ku Tank Hill Road okulira na Italian Supermarket mu basement. Essimu tuli ku noti 72 682 953. Teweerabira, saluni egenda okujjayo bulungi bwo n'ekitiibwa kyo ye Hasi Beauty Parlor, a world of beauty.
Esi mukasya kano kankwanjulira mami gadgetsi abakola emiramu education gadgetsi zonna mu Uganda balina tablets z'abaana zonna mu bikanga Samsung, Apple, Origimo, ate nga balina n'esina keyboard. Balina ebimotoka by'abaana, ebimundu, essaawa, bags z'abaana, bottles container ng'ogasseko ne building blocks. Balina headsets z'abaana, balina smart watch zonna ate nga ziri origino. Balina wireless charger ate nga basisinkanibwa wali ku Pioneer Mall, edduka li PA11. Ate ng'osobola bakubira ku 0706696904. Gambye ekikwasagana ne education gadgets zonna oyina kwekwata mami gadgets kubanga yasinga.
Okay, welcome onto the show. We are still with Fire. She's an artist. Fire, are you struggling as an artist in Africa?
Yeah. Just this morning, so I was scrolling through statuses and I saw my song released on someone's profile, like a collaboration or a featuring that I'd done for someone. They released it without telling me.
They released it without telling you?
Yeah. So these challenges that you get here of just like unprofessionalism.
They were telling me, by here you sound like a Ugandan. Your English sounds like
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, and it's true, and I don't mean to do it. It just happens.
Sure.
Of course, because someone even in England on the phone can say, you have that accent. And I'm like, oh. But I think it's a human, is it just a way, it's a mechanism to be understood.
Now, let me tell you. Whenever I interview neri mu luzungu naye saagala muntu anjajinga. Now, let me tell you something. You see, when we travel to Europe, yeah? And I spend like 2 years or 1 year. And I start saying, hello, hope you're doing good.
Yeah.
So, our friends here and family start saying, you're showing off.
Yeah.
That's not how you sound. You sound like the way you used to sound when you stayed in Uganda. Why are you sounding like a British? You copped. Now, when you sound like a Ugandan, when your English starts sounding like a Ugandan born, these people started saying, why is she sounding like us? You know, Ugandans are confusers.
Yeah.
When you go to Europe as a Ugandan and you start sounding like
A European.
they start saying, "What you?
Yeah.
You? Why are you sounding like them? Why are you sounding like them? You're showing off.
Yeah.
You're like as if you don't know your language." Now, when you come here, Fire, and then you sound like us, then we also ask, why are you sounding like us? So have you got some those questions? Why are you sounding like us? Why are you sounding like Ugandans?
I think most people just appreciate I've been here a while. So I don't really get challenged about it. Some people are like surprised but happy. And in Europe, the only comment I ever got is like, where are you from? Like, and they think South Africa. Because maybe they associate the color and Africa and
Hey!
yeah. But yeah, there isn't that kind of stigma. But feeding into that, I think some people go even on holiday to America for 2 weeks and come home with a full-blown American accent. That's when maybe people get annoyed, like you're showing off.
Hey, we have so many here.
Yeah, but if you go away for years, naturally, you can't even help it. You're not hearing. Language and speech is rhythmic. So when you're not surrounded by that all the time, you're surrounded by a different rhythm. You adjust to that rhythm, I think. Yeah.
Now I'm going to start sounding like British also because I spent there 2 weeks. My friend Richmond took me to England. So in 2 weeks, I was sounding like British.
Now which British? Because we have so many accents.
You're kidding me.
I'm not. Like even mine, if I talked as I talk, if I spend a lot of time there, someone can either say I have like a BBC English, like a neutral accent that you can't tell where I'm from, or they will be able to detect definitely I'm from somewhere in the north. But most but most people have an accent specific to the city they're in, and they're very broad and specific.
So for you, can you differentiate that this one is a Scottish, this one is an Irish?
Even specifically, this one is a Glaswegian, this one is from Edinburgh, this one is from Aberdeen.
You can?
Yeah, immediately for a lot of people. Yeah. And those accents, I think if you talked in them, you wouldn't even understand the English.
I've ever met a Scottish. Scottish. You know, I've watched, do you know Sir Alex Ferguson?
Yeah.
So I watched so many of interviews of the ex-players of Manchester United, and so many players are always saying, you know, because he's a Scottish, his English is a little bit hard.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's broad.
But when I get time and listen to Sir Alex Ferguson, it's always, so everything is, and I'm always not getting what he's saying.
But you can find even an English person can't get what they're saying. You know, like where I'm from, like Newcastle, Sunderland, like, well, there are two different accents, first of all, but like, if someone has a broad accent from there, definitely someone in another city can't catch a lot of what they're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
For us, we think you understand.
Not these broad accents, but when those like news presenters, they have to speak a certain English. Yeah.
Fire. By the people loved the way you acted in my skits.
I was happy.
You saw?
Yeah, I saw some comments. I was happy.
Do people recognize you on streets when you're walking?
Just after our interview, like 2 to 3 people were like, "Is this you?" Like holding up TikTok. I was like, yeah, yeah, that's nice.
Now you're becoming a celebrity. You know, so many boys were inboxing me here.
Sure, boys.
I don't know. I told them Fire has a boyfriend. I told them, Wallahi Fire, I told them. And you know what? The boys were like, I've seen my future. She's my future. Please, Alan, give me her number. She has a boyfriend. No, we shall struggle. I'll struggle. I said, no, Fire should be in a safe zone.
That means you protected me.
Yeah, because I know your boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
I know he's a humble guy.
Yeah.
These ones want to humble you. Those ones. Fire. Those boys. They think you have money.
This is the challenge. How do you know real love from money love? How do we know real love? Have you heard of the term? Did we talk about last time this idea of Mzungu hunter? They told me about it when I used to live in Ginger, the Mzungu hunter.
Like what?
Like he hunts Mzungu. As a full-time job.
Boys.
And I know them, yeah.
They hunt Bazungus.
Just, I think it's like that term.
So, tell me, how did they judge you? What did they tell you?
No, just, I knew that, you see, if a girl comes here, like, but maybe just for 2 weeks or a couple of months, like, she can fall for that charm, that charisma. I'm going to be rude here, but she might also level up on finding someone so good looking and fit. Yeah. She gets spellbound, not so, but she doesn't see deeper into what it is. But she doesn't know that there are people with that hidden agenda who go out of their way just to look for a white woman. And to be honest, it's really sad because women get pregnant, get married, only to discover they were being used.
Yes, because they want to make photocopy of kids.
Yeah.
Eh,
And let me not just say women, it happens to Caucasian men as well, of course.
yes.
Yeah, much.
Muzungu
Yeah.
hunters.
And it's so frequent, it's mad. And now, being here, like, I feel like it's quite easy to see sometimes, but sometimes it's not, sadly. Sometimes you can.
Have you ever been hunted?
But I'm sure. But I don't want to name names. But
Yeah, don't name
Yeah.
names. But you've ever been hunted?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, how did you survive?
But I feel like life here is a constant survival in a way from that. Because any day, any time, someone's trying to get you for that reason. Yeah. And it's hard to kind of like let your guard down. It's tiring. Yeah.
So, should I ask?
Mm.
I'll ask kindly.
Mm.
Your boyfriend.
Mm.
You guys should make a wedding. Would you love to have a wedding?
You need to talk to him about this.
But you, do you want it?
Me, a wedding.
Yeah.
Like, are you talking about the ceremony, or you just mean would I love to get married?
The ceremony.
Oh.
Where?
I don't mind, but it's not something I ever thought about.
Sure.
Yeah. Like, to me, a marriage is between you and your husband. No one even needs to be there except God. Like, God is witnessing everything. Yeah, so
You don't want a ring on your finger
I don't need
to
that.
show your fellow ladies
No.
that you see?
No.
Hey.
Just like, the only thing you need to know is in your heart and soul that you married the right person. Yeah, you don't need any proof of it so long as you feel in your spirit it's right. Yeah.
You're different. And that's why he loves you. Here people were telling me, can she give me kids? Alan, please.
They said that?
Yes. Alan, please, you give me fire. Banange. At least, she can give me at least one kid. Me, I can take care of her very well. I'm like, she has a boyfriend. She's married.
But that's the funny thing here. No one even cares if you have a boyfriend. Like, I used to lie. I used to even wear a ring when I traveled just to lie that, like, I'm married. Just so people didn't disturb me. But they would still disturb. They say, no, he's over there. I'm here. I can be your husband here. He can be your husband there.
Jose, did you hear that? Boys here said that.
Yes, here, not just Uganda, Africa. Yeah.
They say what?
Like, I can be your husband here. You can have your husband there.
And you're like, how do you guys do it?
But people do it because I know the people who are doing it. I know even the stories. I get shocked. There's even a story I want to tell, but I don't know if I should.
Mama, you tell us.
Just of a friend of mine, like I knew her boyfriend here. And one day she took me to her house in another city. And it had photos all over the wall of her and this other man. Like engagement photos. Like it was her home with another man. Like she was living
She was a Caucasian?
No, Ugandan. She was living two totally separate lives. Like she was about to marry one man and she was a girlfriend to another man. And I was like, how do you even keep up this lie? This is confusing.
You can't do that?
No, I can't. My conscience. Even if I cheated, I would tell them.
You tell who?
Like I would tell my boyfriend, even if I cheated, I would tell them.
No.
Because if I did it, it would be as a mistake. Because cheating on someone, it's either a mistake or it's intentional. Now, if it's intentional, why are you even with that person?
How is it a mistake?
Like someone can, like force you. You understand? If someone
not forcing. Someone can.
Woo you.
Someone can seduce you well.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is if you made a mistake of like a kiss or something, like I'm not saying like going beyond that. If you made a mistake of that, you could confess it because it's your conscience. But like if it was intentional, like yeah, I feel like having her or him, but like that's just evil. To be honest, it's purely evil.
Now, in case you fall into that trap and then you sleep with someone, you can go back home and tell your boyfriend that I'm sorry, baby.
I would have to, and I knew I would be risking the relationship, but I would have to.
You tell him?
Yes, I would.
That what?
I would be scared to say it because I would know that it's going to lead to, it could potentially lead to the end, but I would tell them what happened.
Fire.
Yeah, because how can I live my whole life with that in my conscience? Why would I live with that? It's my mistake, and they shouldn't be, like, it's, you know, it's those spiritual contracts. Like when you sleep with someone, your soul bonds with that person. Like, you don't need to bring those bonds into other people without their consent. Even physically, it's dangerous, but even spiritually, it's dangerous. So that person needs to know what's going on.
Now I'm getting it for the first time from you. I used to just hear it. That the Caucasians are too real in love when it comes to loving.
Yeah, I hear Ugandans saying that too. I don't know if it's true, but I do.
No, because when you tell me, when you cheat, and it's not intentional, you go back to your boyfriend and say, hi babe, how are you? I think I cheated. You'd say that?
I would.
You would say that?
Yeah, I would. Because I can't live with it. I can't live with that secret.
Even if he never saw you?
Yes, because I don't know how to explain, but it's your conscience can just tell you. Tell them.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I think we need such partners in life.
Because like...
A partner who cheats and comes and reports himself or herself.
Because especially, it's so dangerous. Let me say, like, it's so irresponsible, especially when there are diseases.
But do you think your partner can do the same?
I doubt. But I don't know. Say yes. I wish I could say yes, but I also know the culture. So.
You know the culture. Thank you. Thank you. You know, here we have the saying, he's an African man.
And they see that as an excuse to cheat. Like, no, it's my nature. No, it's not your nature. Control your nature. Control your nature.
Here, African men have to, you say kusajalata. Kusajalata.
Kusajalata. What does it mean?
Kusajalata, A man has to feel like he's a man.
But why does sleeping around make him feel like a man?
Munanga, those boys say, me, I don't.
Yeah, why does it make you feel like a man to abuse a woman? Why do you have to put someone down to feel powerful? Because if you're truly powerful, like Jesus, he came as a servant, not to be served. He was powerful because he served others, because he was humble. So as men, to be a man is to protect, to guide, and to love your wife, to love her body as your own. So you're not loving her body as your own if you're joining your body to another body that's not hers. You're even hating her, to be honest. You're putting her in danger, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It's wrong.
Because even here, some beat their wives.
Yeah.
Have you ever been abused by any African man?
Not physically, like not beaten, just like maybe mentally, emotionally, or maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who had fire?
Yeah, definitely.
Who hurt you? You're an innocent soul.
And I think those are the ones that get hurt because someone can manipulate you.
What did he do?
Like, you know, mind games. You know, like you, as women, we have our instincts a lot. You can feel like someone's cheated or someone's lying. And you just ask them openly.
Yeah.
Because you're ready to forgive if it's an honest mistake. But when they lie and hide and say, no, you're crazy, no.
You're crazy?
Like you're crazy.
Someone says you're crazy?
Yeah.
We go for a break, we are coming back. That's not really good.
Yagambye eriggwa ayagala ennyumba ya A&B nga buli kimu kyonna okisanga munda nga n'ojja n'omwagalwa buli kimu kyonna kigenda maaso n'okubanga kiggwa bulungi oba n'oba ng'ova bweru nga weetaaga wogenda otuukira buli kimu kyonna kwegamba osange nga weekiri ennyumba ebeeramu buli kimu kyonna kye weetaaga just kiba kyetaagisa gwe kujja n'ogenda maaso n'okunyumirwa ekifo kyaffe kisangibwa ku Namugongo Road okumpi n'ekyaaki y'Abakatuliki okkirira ku St. Kizito Lwanga Road oba otutuuseeko oba n'otunoonyako ku namba zaffe ez'amasimu okumanya ebisingawo nooti 785 37 92 29 oba nooti 700 39 02 oba plus 44 74 72 31 81 64 nkugambye tulina ne CCTV coverage wifi coverage internet ebeerako 24/7 ate nga nyongera okujjukiza osobola n'okuyita ku email yaffe pikato694@gmail.com ogeye buli kimu kyonna amasavu mayerere.
Okay, welcome back from that short commercial break. As we are winding up our show. Very soon we are winding up. If you say, Alan, please host Fire. She has very good conversation. He has a very good jazz. She's a vibe. Yeah, we say she's a vibe.
That's nice.
Yeah. So that we were saying you're crazy.
I think this has happened definitely many times, and I think it's called gaslighting, right? Where you know what's happening in your intuition, but when you try to be open about it, they make you think like you're hearing voices, like your intuition is wrong, and that's so dangerous because you start doubting every intuition. Then, if there's an intuition that says no, don't go there, or don't cross the road, or don't talk to them, you stop listening to all the intuitions because that person that you love and admire is telling you your intuitions are wrong. So that kind of coercion is so common, and it's so abusive, but it's not like as well understood maybe as physically beating someone.
You know, Fire, let me ask you this question because you're going to tell me if you also do it. Always some friends of mine are always saying, when you date a white, they always want to follow you wherever you're going.
My boyfriend complained of this. Yeah.
Why do you love following people? He's going to see friends. Let's go.
Because you're one to become one.
You also love following.
But I don't see it as following. If your spirit says to you, if your instinct says to you, let's go, and you propose it and they say no, you're like, but why? Yeah, like I can understand someone needs...
Wait a minute. So your boyfriend also complained about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
even that one, Jose, was telling me, for him he can't date a white. And
because of that.
And asked Jose why. That whites ask for receipts. They over ask for receipts when you go to the supermarket. They actually, for them they call it nosy.
Nosy.
They always want to know, where are you going? We go together. What time are you coming back? Where are you?
That's called accountability, not nosiness.
Yeah?
It's called accountability.
Do you also ask for accountability?
You know, it depends on your relationship, on your level of trust. If you feel everything is fine, you don't need to ask anything. But if you have a suspicion something is not.
But what I should advise you, Fire, stop following. No, Fire.
No.
For you, he doesn't follow you here.
Yeah, true.
He leaves you. Does he ask when you're going somewhere, baby, let's go together? Does he?
No.
He rarely.
Yeah.
Who does it most?
But even that annoys me because I feel like, why don't you want to come with me? Why don't you want to share this experience with me or protect me or be there with me? I don't understand that. Why would you just leave me to be alone? Like sometimes there are situations where I need someone to stand up for me. Or like here, unfortunately, like men respect men. It's very hard to gain the same respect as a woman. So sometimes once you acknowledge that and you see that the only way to be
And you know it's not only on whites.
No, I know.
Even ladies here,
I know.
they complain a lot.
Oh.
Their men leave them in the house
Oh.
and they go out in the bars with friends and
Yeah.
have fun. So the women are always saying, why don't you go out with me at least?
Of course.
Yes,
Why
Mama,
should
you're right.
Why should she be home cooking, cleaning, feeding the kids, taking care of the home, whilst you go out and drink the money you're earning or she's earning? It doesn't make sense. And that's not love.
You should follow.
You've changed. You decided you should follow.
Mama, you should follow. Protect.
Yeah.
Hey, even the girls can snatch. Hey, and
You
take
see?
your man.
You see?
And me, I want you guys to. Does he have a kid?
Yeah, it does.
He does. Hey, you raised that one.
Yeah, they're not around here. Yeah.
Hey, they are not.
Yeah.
Oh.
But maybe in future, maybe as things settle.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like the government of Uganda should look into your things and you should get citizenship here.
Ma'am, can some minister seeing this please hear this? Like, I've really asked around about that, but the only thing, and this surprises Ugandans. I think a lot of people think it's easy for us to enter without a visa, to stay without a citizenship. No, there's paperwork involved in getting a visa, especially a longer term one. And
Munange, they told us,
yeah,
for you guys, you just come.
No.
It's easy for you guys to come in, yet for us it's difficult for us to come that side. But for it is very easy. You just go at the airport, reach at the airport, you get your visa on arrival, you enter.
It used to be before COVID, you could get a single entry 3-month visiting visa at the airport. But during COVID, they changed it. So now even visiting visa, you apply a few days before. I think you need an invitation.
But it's not hard to get it.
That one, no. But if you want to stay beyond 3 months, then you need like police document to show you have no criminal conviction. You need like 2 invitations. You need those IDs of the people inviting you. You need to write a letter explaining why you're coming. You need your tickets. So it's
a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I'm not saying it's as hard as going to Britain, but it's not also just stepping in without asking. Yeah.
I wish some minister could say this. Because you love Uganda, don't you?
Yeah, I'm home. I'm home.
Hey, because you also, actually she told me she wanted to also own a land in Uganda, buy some at least land.
Man, because with these renting, it's just a waste. You pay for somebody else to build their home. Whilst you'll never own a home because you're building their homes.
But you're a very humble soul. You know, when I came to your place last time with your boy, I found you with your boyfriend, I was shocked.
Yeah, I know. It was just he came for interview.
Yeah.
And found me there.
Yeah, I found you there and I was shocked. Bam, you guys love yourselves. Because I saw when you're moving out with your boyfriend, you close the door, your boyfriend follows you, you go. And by the way, let me tell you another thing. This one's the boys always complain about the white girls. That Munange, you know what Munange means?
Yeah.
Okay. That Munange, you guys love walking.
Yeah, I also hear that.
You also hear that?
Yeah.
You walk a lot. The boys get tired. But you guys, let's walk. Let's walk. You walk from Munyonyo Speak Resort in Munyonyo to Chibuye.
You know, in our, let me say, culture, like you can even, like weekends for us as a family, every Sunday we went on a walk. That was the activity as a family. You went to like a nature place, like a park, like here you would call it a national park. There we would say it's like some preserved forestry or old house. And you spend some hours walking in the wild, trying to navigate yourselves, like to be in nature.
Munange boys are tired. The boys are. Does he love walking?
You know, the funny thing is,
He
was the one the other day that pushed me to walk out of the house, because, like, to walk up the road. He was like, "Are you the one who's complaining I don't exercise? Let's go." Do you use a lot of borders, or you love fast walking? No, I border. To be honest, I told you I have a bad knee, so like even walking sometimes it hurts. But the problem here Yeah, you could walk if you're in a quiet place, but a lot of places are so congested. It's not.
Now, my last question before we head to your music. Some woman asked me, actually, she's based in Netherlands. She's called Sarah. She told me to ask you.
All right.
Here in Africa, when a woman clocks 30, 35, the pressure mounts. And she feels like she wants to give birth. You know, any man who comes, at least I should own a
Just
child.
accept.
At least.
Yeah.
And she had you saying, you're 35 and you're okay.
Yeah.
Either you have a kid,
Yeah.
or you live this world without having a kid.
Yeah.
You're okay. Why are you okay?
It's true, the pressure is there. I remember even my girlfriends in Ginger I used to stay with, by 27, they were panicking.
They were white?
No, Ugandan. Yeah, but the same pressure applies here, because you can find even a man challenges you. You're getting old. What are you going to do? Even a border can ask you.
Hey!
Yeah!
Even a border?
You get shocked, like, how can my fertility be a national conversation? It's my body. Like, we don't know if I'll stop being fertile at 45 or 50. People give birth in their 40s. So, like, it's not for you to tell me, time is running out. No, I'll rush and make a mistake. A child is a gift from God. A child is a life that we have to protect and preserve. I cannot just throw one into the world without thinking. And maybe I overthink.
For you, don't you feel the pressure?
Not too much. Not too much. Like, maybe recently a little bit more, because you have to just think more carefully about the relationship you're in and where it's going, because you know that.
Because I would have loved to say young fire.
Baby fire.
Hey, very beautiful, very
Come
handsome.
out burning.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
And you know,
one
people
day.
are going to be happy.
Yeah, I hope. One day, I'm sure. Just I just prioritize like putting foundations in place.
Do you go
first.
out for movies with your
Oh
boyfriend?
man, I've been trying to convince him to go to cinema.
Are you sure?
Can you please convince him for me? Or can the cinema give us free tickets? Maybe.
No. They only give you free tickets. No, I need to convince. I need to convince him.
Convince him. We watch movies at home. We've been watching Harry Potter actually.
Do you know VJ Junior?
Mm-mm.
Do you watch translated movies?
Benange, you know they're so noisy.
Eh?
They're so noisy.
How?
I don't even want to impersonate, but you're like, you just shout over the whole movie. And it's shouting. You can't relax. Even a romantic movie, it's like, and then they even talk when there's no talk. And I asked my friend, why are they talking but there's no speech? She's like, they're telling us the action, the boy is running, the man is chasing him. But surely we can see that.
Help me ask a friend of mine, VJ Junior.
VJ Junior.
What? Where did you get that? Please ask VJ Junior.
Oh, he's the founder of this.
No, there are many. There's one called VJ Jingo.
Okay.
VJ Jingo is for action movies.
Okay.
Okay, abali abo katandika mutandisi. Ngabaga kabaka Richard Norton yakalimu.
Yeah.
Now, Junior is for love.
Okay.
Detective.
Mystery, yeah.
Now, talk to VJ Junior and ask Junior anything, because I'm going to cut it out and I'll give it to VJ Junior, because he's a free soul. He's a good person. Just ask Junior anything about why they translate movie and why is that. I'll cut it out and give it to VJ Junior.
First of all, I understand why you translate.
No, you start by saying, okay, VJ Junior.
Okay, VJ Junior. I understand why you translate. People don't know English or don't know it well. It makes sense. But why do you do it in like an aggressive way that even a soft movie becomes like you're on your seat like panicking? And then why do you, like shout at the viewer? Like as if they're not hearing you.
And also ask VJ Jingo.
VJ Jingo. Why do you like even translate the action where there are no words? Because we know movies are translated worldwide and usually they're subtitled or they're dubbed. Yeah, but they don't speak when there's no speaking. So how did Uganda come with that culture of even narrating? Even our cameraman is laughing. Of even narrating the action. Let
me show you if this is what we are talking about. You know, it's good, eh? It's good to I give you examples, then you say,
You see, even Ugandans probably don't know it's rare. Like, it's not being done in other countries. Yeah. But it's like pastors, actually. They talk a little bit like these pastors.
Now, I want you to tell me if this is what you hear. Yeah? Nange lwaki onaakuba obulango bungi.
Kale kyatulese naki wikona pares chingo na maisi salongo yesawa tutandika mutansa tugenda maaso sanga tukikwatira ne salongo chingo katandika mutandisinga tulirudawa.
There's no silence. You know, my speech and drama teacher used to tell me to see the action, you need to have pauses. Like to hear the words, you need to have silence. Like one complements the other. Like if you speak all your lines at once.
Now this is Junior.
Oh, they are the ones. That's a big drama. So he's the one that does romance. That's a bit softer. You hear the difference.
Now, that is Junior. Now we have those two. But Jingo. Jingo, you have to get ropes here and chains all together. Tie yourself here. Then watch a movie.
It's true.
Because Jingo takes you in the real scene.
But that's what you like.
Then
I guess.
Junior smoothens it a little bit. I want you to meet VJ Junior.
I should meet them. What if I do my own voiceover for a Uganda film? I do a British voiceover.
Yeah, can you?
Why not?
Junior will teach you that. You know, Junior is a good person. VJ Junior.
But by the way, I went searching for movies. I couldn't find any non-translated.
Well, let me call VJ Junior and you talk to
live.
VJ Junior. You know, Junior is my good friend, and you ask Junior that question because Junior always tells me, Alan, the number is off. Let me try this one. I don't know, because Junior has to get this word straight.
Yeah, ALLANCRUZ.
Junior. Nino muzungu wange wana alina ekibuuzo kyo kyabuuza. Please, fire. Ask Junior here.
Junior, how are you?
Yes, what's up? How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. We are talking about your voice.
What's your name?
You're right, I'm Firestar.
Esther, you called Esther?
Firestar. Have you seen those comedies we've done with ALLANCRUZ?
I haven't watched it because I've been up and down. I've been up country. I'm just coming back to Kampala.
Oh, I see. Okay. So,
all right, yeah.
Alan was asking me in an interview about translated movies here. Yeah, and he was saying that you're the one that voices them. But I have a question.
The good one.
Which genre do you do?
Yeah.
Which genre of films do you narrate?
He's good at romance.
Love.
Hey. Ask him.
Basically. But I'm really known with the romantic dramas. Yeah.
So my question was, why in Uganda do you translate even the action of the film and not just the voices of the film?
Why do I?
Like in Uganda, on your voiceovers, you don't just translate the dialogue. You even translate the action.
Yeah, we entertain. We make it more entertaining.
You make it more.
Yeah, it's like watching wrestling when the commentator, you're watching the action, but the commentator is giving you. Yeah, you're watching football. Yeah, you watch football, isn't it?
That means it's more of commentary than translation, actually.
Yeah, we do translation. The difference is that with the football, there are no dialogues.
Yeah.
Okay, if there were dialogues, definitely they would also translate the dialogue.
True.
But I was just giving you a reference. You understand? So when it is time for action, we put in we make it more entertainment. We make references like Ugandan references.
Oh.
Yeah, that is it.
Okay, you put in references that are relevant to people here.
Which are relevant to the people, to the
local people. That makes sense. But we really need we really need a big movie industry here. So you'll be making films that reflect people here.
Definitely, that's what we want.
Yes,
that's our goal. That's our focus.
Movies. Why don't you? Why don't?
Oh,
as you know, with the movie.
Promotion.
Alan had a request. He was saying, I've just released a song yesterday. He was saying, can we put one of my songs as a soundtrack in one of your films?
As a really? That's what you want? Then that means I'll have to first meet here.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to meet Junior. Junior is a good person. Fire. What are you sebo Oluzungu inamu sebo? Oluzungu inamu oyogede n'omungereza Oluzungu inamu Junior.
Dalila wallahi.
That's Junior.
No, let me just make a point. I find it so funny how people cut calls in Uganda.
Hey.
Like you cut without any goodbye. I can't get to know the people. Bye. Bye. But they've already gone. I can't even call someone back and be like, but you hung up. You know?
Never nayo muzungu wange wanayo. Fire. Some things are African inherited.
You know, these conversations, they open up a lot of things that you take as normal, but they're not normal.
Fire, that's bad, eh?
No, it's not. It's good. That's why these conversations are good.
Cutting.
Okay, in British culture, it would be really rude.
Yeah. So how am I?
When you're in London, you just say, "All right, okay, see you then, bye."
Oh, so for us, how do we do? Give an example. Just give us example how we do.
You'll be like, Kale.
My mom always complains about that.
Really?
Yes. My mom always tells me, Alan, I call and you're always the one putting me off. Why?
No, my boyfriend even told me an interesting thing. I don't know if that's more of his culture specifically, but he was saying that he won't be the one, if you're the one that calls, you're the one to hang up. Like, if I call him, it should be me to end the call, not him. Yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah. My mom complains about that.
Yeah.
Me, I'm always, I'm always busy. So I'm always like, Fire, how are you? I'm okay. So are you coming tomorrow? Yeah. What time? 10. Okay, 10, fine. Okay.
Yeah. No, even like manners, like please and thank you. Like everyone knows in the world, like British have this culture of like politeness.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes, we can even argue it can be fake, but mostly I don't think it is. But it's not. I remember when I first came to Kenya and I asked for the word for please, and it took a long time until someone was like, "What is it? What is it?"
You asked for what?
The word please, tafadhali, I think. Yeah. But it took them a while to figure out which word I was looking for because it's not. You don't go to market and say, "Please, can I have this?" You say nataka.
Nataka.
I will take. Yeah. Or here in Jagala. I want, but you don't say
it's like commanding.
Yeah,
it's like a commanding tongue.
Yeah, I don't know
if someone says fire, njagala mpe ku chai, you feel like you you should have said please.
Please, could I have a cup of tea and then thank you when you receive it. But like,
so it bothers you.
It does bother me sometimes. Yeah, it does bother me. Sometimes.
Like, why do you say njagala?
For that one,
who taught you how to understand those statements?
No, I think I just learned. I just heard it.
You know what njagala means? I love that.
Yeah, njagala
bijanjalo. I also don't like that. When someone says njagala, I don't give you what you want.
Really?
Yes. I also don't. I hate someone who uses CRUZ mbadde njagala ojje.
It's rude. So what would you rather they say? What would be the correct term in Uganda?
Like CRUZ mbadde nsaba.
Mbadde nsaba.
Like I was kindly asking.
Requesting.
Yes, like kindly asking.
Yes,
will you come over this side with it?
Yeah.
You know?
Now
when someone says, mbadde njagala ompe interview. Like I want you to give me an interview. No. It is
that's not how you ask.
Mbadde nsaba. Tukole interview. Like I'm kindly asking, can we do an interview together?
It's strange. There's a lot of things. Another thing that's coming to mind is appreciation. Like here, someone can say to you, appreciate me. What they mean is give me money. But in our culture, appreciation means appreciating. Just appreciating inside.
Like someone here, even if he picks your bag, a boda guy picks your bag and brings it to you saying,
They can ask for Lukumi, not so.
Hey.
But in our culture, it's like naturally as a human to a human, we can help you. Yeah, so I find that really hard sometimes, to be honest. I find it really frustrating. But why can't you just do it? Because I'm a human, you're a human.
Okay, so you released a new song?
I did.
It's called?
Jeje, Love Me Jeje.
Love Me?
Jeje.
Who was Jeje?
It's we made it in Nigeria, in Lagos. So it's in their language, and it means like, I'm going to shame myself now because it was a year since I recorded it. But it's like a bit, like somehow, like love me a bit, love me like that. Yeah. So like the engineers, as I was making it, they're the ones that encouraged me to put that, to give it a local feel.
Have you put it on Spotify?
Yeah, it's on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, iTunes, all of them. Yeah.
You're dreaming of a hit song now.
We need a hit song.
Yeah?
We needed to change our life.
Oh, you need a hit song. I'll talk to Spice Diana. You know Spice Diana?
Yeah. Actually, I think I met her, but briefly, just in passing, last year.
She's one of the best female artists we have in the country. One day I want you to meet Spice Diana.
That would be nice.
We work with her.
Yeah.
You know?
That would be awesome.
Hey, because you love music. Why not? And she has the manager called Manager Roger.
Okay.
You know Manager Roger?
I don't know him.
There's a friend of mine. It's called Manager Roger. It's her manager.
Okay.
They are very good family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be perfect.
Yeah. So you've already distributed it?
Yeah, yesterday. So there's a lyrics video. It's on TikTok. You can do challenges. Please do challenges. That would help me a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
People told me last time to thank you. You're a good actor.
Oh, that's nice. I appreciate it.
Your skits were trending all over TikTok.
Yeah, I did notice.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to tag you, but I never got your...
At More Firestar.
I was looking for Firestar.
Firestar was taken, so it had to be More Firestar.
I was looking for Firestar.
Yeah.
Instead of More.
More Firestar. Same on Instagram, More Firestar.
Are you on Twitter? Are you on X?
No. Actually, I just saw a notification saying I am, but I'm banned. But I don't know how, because if I created an account, I didn't know about it. So I'm not. Okay.
Give the shout outs to you guys and we get out of here.
Yeah, thanks for the support last time. All your comments on YouTube, they were encouraging because I was just being myself, but people were so appreciative, supportive. There was only 1 or 2 negative criticisms, but when you have that mass of love,
you can't miss out on that.
You just feel like I appreciate. Thank you.
Those ones have to be there.
Yeah.
You know, we know.
Or the skeptics.
Yes.
Yeah. And sometimes maybe they're just trolling for response.
Okay.
So yeah, thanks for that and for the comedy. I think we're going to be doing more.
Yes, another one.
Yeah.
Before your program.
Yeah, because Banange, I'm missing Tom.
Oh, you're missing Tom. Did your boyfriend see the skits?
Yeah, he did.
And what did he say?
No, he just enjoyed it.
He just enjoyed it. You enjoyed also Tom? Tom was saying.
Tom is funny, and I saw everyone's asking, is that his real voice?
Hey.
And afterwards, I went away and I was even asking myself, is that his real voice?
And if you're asking, you're acting with him.
I know. But I think it's his. Is it his real voice? No, I was getting confused.
No, I also don't know now.
We still don't know anymore.
Have a blessed day, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. We've been doing this interview in English, so please don't judge. My English comes from very far.
Your English is perfect.
Really?
Nothing to fear. Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah.
People told me last time, CRUZ, you struggled.
No. Why?
I said, my God. But don't worry. I'm soon there. Yeah? Okay, thank you so much, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and share this interview in case kakunyumidde. Have a blessed day for now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wano ku Hasi Beauty Parlor tuli bakafulu mu kulabirira n'okuyoyoota ensusu. Tukola facial ne tukupepeta ka feesi ne kawawera nga aka baby. Tusiba n'okola enviiri mu buli musono songa mu kukola pedicure ne manicure tuwekansa. Tusala enviiri mu buli musono. Ate bwe kituuka mu kukola makeup tetumanyiyo mulala. Tuli muyenga ku Tank Hill Road okulira na Italian supermarket mu basement. Essimu tuli ku noti 72 682 953. Teweerabira saluni egenda okujjayo bulungi bwo n'ekitiibwa kyo ye Hasi Beauty Parlor, a world of beauty. onoonye ekifo eky'omulembe w'oyinza okuwummulirako ate nga kisangibwa ku lubalama lw'ennyanja. Winslow Luxury Suites kino kye kifo ekikkakkamu eri gwe anoonya w'oyinza okubeerako okumala ennaku entonotono oba ekiseera ekigere ng'olinga ali ewuwo. Kino kye kifo kyokka. Tulina amayumba agalina accommodation ey'omulembe nga mulimu ebisenge ebiwerera ddala 2, sitting room, modern kitchen, dining, closet nga z'obulungi, ssaako toilet n'ebinaabiro. Ebisenge byaffe birabika bulungi nnyo omuli ebitanda ebya queen ne king size. Ekiseera kyonna ky'omala ng'oli naffe tufuba okulaba nga tufuna kutaataganyizibwa kwonna anti tulina standby generator, wifi ne DSTV ssaako ne laundry services. Tulina n'emmotoka ez'omulembe okwanguyizako mu by'entambula era nga tusobola okupikinga okuva wonna w'oli ne ku kisaawe erimu abava ebweru wa Uganda. Winslow Luxury Suite tusangibwa mu Jomai Estate, Garuga, Entebbe. N'olwekyo gwe yandyagadde okumanya ebisingawo n'okubuukinga osobola tukubira ku noti 752 emu noti 8 nyemu oba osindika obubaka obwa WhatsApp ku +9 noti 83 2 noti 3 6 noti 2.
Zino ze bayita batya?
Modern tiles.
Onoonya tiles ez'omutindo nga mpangazi ezitasiiwuuka nga ne design yazo ya njawulo nnyo. Funa Modern Tiles.
Modern Tiles.
Yagambye eriggwa ayagala ennyumba ya A&B nga buli kimu kyonna okisanga munda nga n'ojja n'omwagalwa buli kimu kyonna kigenda maaso n'okubanga kiggwa bulungi. Oba n'oba ng'ova bweru nga weetaaga w'ogenda otuukira buli kimu kyonna kwegamba osange nga weekiri. Ennyumba ebeeramu buli kimu kyonna kye weetaaga. Just kiba kyetaagisa gwe kujja n'ogenda maaso n'okunyumirwa. Ekifo kyaffe kisangibwa ku Namugongo Road okumpi ne Church y'Abakatuliki. Okkirira ku St. Kizito Lwanga Road oba otutuuseeko. Oba n'otunoonyako ku namba zaffe ez'amasimu okumanya ebisingawo. Nooti 785 37 92 29 oba noti 700 39 02 11 oba plus 4 74 72 31 81 64. Nkugambye tulina ne CCTV coverage, wifi coverage, internet ebeerako 24/7. Ate nga nyongera okujjukiza osobola n'okuyita ku email yaffe pikato694@gmail.com. Ogeye buli kimu kyonna amasavu mayerere.
Esi mukasya kano kankwanjulira emamiga gy'ekisi abakola emiramu education gadgets zonna mu Uganda balina tablets z'abaana zonna mu bikanga syamusanga apo oligimo ate nga balina n'esiina keyboard. Balina ebimotoka by'abaana, ebimundu, essaawa, bags z'abaana, bottles, container ng'ogasseko ne building blocks. Balina headsets z'abaana, balina smart watch zonna ate nga ziri oligino. Balina wireless charger ate nga basisinkanibwa wali ku Pioneer Mall edduka li PA11 ate ng'osobola bakubira ku 0703 69 69 04. Gambye ekikwasagana ne education gadgets zonna oyina kwekwata mami gadgets kubanga yasinga.